We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. All right. So, again, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining today workshop. Today is the last day of the 5 days job accelerated challenge. We began this about 2 weeks ago, and the goal of this particular training is actually to move us from where we are to where we should be with regards to transitioning into cybersecurity. So that being said, there are some actionable items that we need to cover for us to actually change our status into either being actively interviewing or getting an offer within 30 days. And if I have 30 days to change my career, let's say I want to get a new job within 30 days. These 5 steps are the things that I'm going to focus on the first 7 days, if not 5 days, the first 7 days. And that results will actually produce for me if I consistently do what I have to do within 30 days. So, that being said, the goal of this 5 days job accelerator challenge is simply to help us transition into the field of cybersecurity in no time. And this is based off of the assumption that we have the necessary information that we need to do the job that we want to do. And that is, you have already been trained, you have the right information about the roles that you want to do. Okay. And our training had been focused on GRC side of cybersecurity. So, which means you already know your roles, you know the role, what you need to do, you know how you need to do the job, you have the better understanding of the job because that's the very first thing that you need to do. And based on what you have known or understood about that role, now you now want to present yourself. For example, the first day of this cybersecurity, the job accelerator challenge, we talked about the resume. Okay, and we established that our resume is the singular major authority. That's the starting point of a career um, transitioning. That is, anybody that wants to see you must have first come in contact with the digital version of yourself before they can actually desire to talk to you. So, in other words, your resume, you are going to create a resume based on the roles that you are applying for. So you put the resume together and then you structure it and you can defend the information that you put on the resume. So that brings us to the fact that you need to understand the roles that you want to apply for before you actually get through this 5 days job accelerated challenge. So if you have not gone through the training, if you have not gone through the training, then you might go through this 5 days job accelerator challenge and you will need to go through the main training that will help you understand the role of GRC training that you want to apply to. So that is very, very important. And our training is very, very comprehensive. It goes straight to the point. Even it's structured in such a way that if you do not have strong background in IT, whether you have strong background in IT or not, it gives you the necessary information. It's just not one of those other cybersecurity training out there. This one is structured well for you to have a quick grasp of that. Now, people say, how long does it take? It's going to take as long as you give to it, right? Because now we have actually made it to be self-paced, because previously we have been running this training on cohort basis, in which we come together every month, maybe 8 days, 8 Saturdays, and things like that. But recently I discovered that a lot of people, they were not able to catch up with that. So in order to be able to reach everyone at the same time, we felt like packaging the training in a pre-recorded version to load it up with the necessary information and make it available for you to access, so that you can continue to learn while you are doing what is even more important to you. That is the best way. Even if you attended the class, the training for the cohort class, some people still need to go over the video training. Okay, so we have made it such that um, it is accessible and available for you any day, anytime. So the training platform is live, and then it is accessible. I'm going to share that detail with you later. Okay, so this 5 days job accelerator challenge is a build up on what you have already learned during the ultimate cybersecurity mentoring training. Okay, that's important. So your resume is very, very important, and we establish a lot of information, and we gave you how you can create your resume. We demonstrated how to create the resume using artificial intelligence. What are the keywords that you need to put on those resume, so that to make it employer magnet or hiring manager magnet, right? And to get you the job that you need. So for every day that we add, I have the document resources for every day, for day one, for day two, for day three, day four, and even day five. I'm going to be sharing these resources as well with you, so that you can access. And I have them in a Google folder, and I've segregated them into day one up to day five, so that we're going to be dealing with about five folders in that particular Google form. So it is very, very important for you to remember that. So day one was done and dusted. Day two, we talked about your LinkedIn optimization. We emphasized on the word SSI, that is social security. No, not social security, social selling index, right? And then we talked about what that meant. All the recording for day one, day two, day three, they are available. Now, what I've not told you is that last on Tuesday, day four video, I I will use the term, the technical term, that it was corrupted, right? So the recording was not available. So that was why you did not get the information about day four recording. So that's why I have to run through day four quickly before we talk on day five. Day five, I can take it in less than 30 minutes, because we're just talking about certification. What are the certifications that you need to work on, and how can you prepare for those certifications. Those information, they are readily available. I can run through that in 30 minutes, but I want to make sure that I do the necessary information to build up again what we missed the last class before we add this today's teaching note to that. So which means this particular presentation is going to serve for day 4 and day 5. I believe you understand what that means. So LinkedIn optimization is very important. Make sure you create your profile and you run through everything. You can seek the assistance of Claude or ChatGPT to write every section and every necessary information that you need to do that. We have provided that. Okay, then we proceed to day 3. Day 3, that's when we talk. Day 3 was actually like about 2 trainings in one. We first talked about the GRC project, then we talked about how to build your portfolio. Both of them goes hand in hand. In the real self, during my mentor session, these are 2 different topics entirely, right? But I felt like combining it here to be able to catch up with information that we need to distill for this 5 days job accelerator series. So we talked about 5 projects that you need that focus more on your GRC. Now, during the ultimate mentoring training course, that is our training resources, we provided a lot of those project based assignments or scenarios, and we demonstrate some of those projects. So we talked about it here, but if you want full information, there's absolutely, you can't do so much about this 5 days job accelerator challenge without having access to the ultimate training resources. We call it ultimate cybersecurity mentoring training for a reason. The reason is because cybersecurity landscape is changing. So the information that we shared last week, even last year, let me put it last year, not that last week is too close, have changed right now. So instead of having to be training people over and over again when they do a cohort based, so we thought that creating a community and also the training course that we can keep updating will be the best way to help our students to keep abreast what the changes in the field. So that's why we have that community and that mentoring training. So you may not be able to do so much about compliance if you have not gone through those information. So we talked about different GLC projects in during the training, and some of those ones we talked about them here as well. Then after that we talked about how to build portfolio. Okay, building portfolio is essential. As a matter of fact, that is where a lot of people have missed it, because the traditional way of searching for a job, okay, especially if it has to do with any other career, is that just go to school, get the certification, and go for the interview. And because, take for example, let me highlight on this particular career, which is the nursing, for example, any other career, or you want to be an engineer, right? You've gone to school, right? And you've completed everything that you needed to do, and now you graduated with degree from that school. Now, the fact that you went to that school and you have the certificate, that is enough proof for anybody to say that they want to hire you to be a nurse or to be work uh, uh, as a medical staff or part of the medical team, right? Because they have the proof. So that's why being a nurse requires you to go to school. It doesn't have to be limited to the fact that okay, your parents they have an hospital, your mom is a matron, your dad is a doctor, and automatically you inherited that. No, that's not the way it works, right? You have to go to school and earn your own bachelor's. So that's why it's easier when you go to school and you get a certificate, you present yourself as the subject matter expert and then you get the job, right? But when it comes to cybersecurity, it's completely different, right? So for cybersecurity, you don't have to have a degree to work in the field of cybersecurity. So if you do not have a degree to work in the field of cybersecurity, you need to bridge the gap between where you are or where you're coming from to where you are going to. So, one of the ways of bridging the gap is for you to present proof, evidence that you are the right person for that job. But how do you do that for someone who did not go to school, traditional school, or who went to school but in abroad, not in United States, but have a background in anything other than computer science or any IT related job? How can anybody offer you a job that you have animal science bachelor degree or bachelor's degree in animal science? How can they give you a job to work as a cybersecurity professional? Let's think about that, right? The fact that this role anybody can do that, it doesn't mean that anybody will be able to do that without presenting an evidence, a proof that you have done something like that before. And that is where the portfolio comes in. So you need to build a portfolio. A portfolio is the proof of the project that you have done that you can actually leverage what you know for what you want to do. You understand? So that is why portfolio is essential. So coming into the field of cybersecurity, you've done boot camp, you've done you even have certifications. You know, you can even speak the language. You know what networking is because you have read and become read. But if you do not have anything to show that you have done the job or you are capable of doing that, you are not going to get the job. That's why majority of people will just keep passing you. A lot of opportunity will come and just skip those people. Think about it for a minute. So portfolio is essential and you need to build a portfolio. And that I cannot emphasize enough. I showed you how you can build portfolio. I'm going to put somebody on the spot. I'm going to put Emmanuel on the spot. A lot of you have shared your portfolio with me for me to give my honest feedback, and I really appreciate that. But one of the portfolio that actually caught my attention is Emmanuel's uh, portfolio. I'm trying to pull it up right now and then I'll share that with you. Give me 1 second. So, all of us, we started this uh, 5 days together and we all had the same information. Now, he built this portfolio. Can everyone see my screen, right? So he built this portfolio during this 5 days job accelerator challenge. Okay. And look at it. I really love this portfolio because when you go through this portfolio, he identified about 6 projects, which is a big win for anyone. And just for you to know, Emmanuel has already been getting interview, right? He's already getting interview, and we all started this thing together few weeks ago. You understand what I'm trying to say? So what I'm trying to say is that look at this thing. Now, let's look at the first project that he built. And he has, I went through that and I really, really love it. Okay. Just a back end information. Emmanuel has masters in IT, right? So it can, I believe, will be able to support you also if you have question about how to do that. But if you have that information, or if you are struggling to build portfolio, probably will be able to get you the help that you need. But look at it. For each project, he has a portfolio for that, right? The methodology, the reporting method, the key findings. I love this. If I have to offer anybody any job, and now seeing this particular one has really, really given me joy. Now, I that is why I see the reason is getting interview already. They've already reached out to him through LinkedIn and is getting calls already. So that this is one of the reasons why we put together this 5 days job accelerated challenge to make sure that you get to where you ought to be. Okay, if you already built portfolio and you have your LinkedIn, and by the way, he has his LinkedIn already, right? He already has his LinkedIn, and you can connect with him, connect with me as well. So all this information, so you'll be able to catch up with all of these things. So this is very, 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 very good information. And Emmanuel is also in this classroom. Probably you'll be able to reach out to him directly and do that. Okay. Well, a quick feedback for you, Emmanuel, is that your LinkedIn is looking very great as well. But if you can work on the banner, and also I'm not sure, I thought I saw your picture a few minutes ago when I checked the last time, but also put
Yeah.
your
So my that picture was I have second LinkedIn, right? So yeah,
okay.
I'm
Oh,
just
you have
building that.
another LinkedIn, right?
Yes. So I just want to hibernate that one, then I can work on this one. Probably.
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct. Fantastic, fantastic. So that's a very good job. All right. So I need every one of us to make sure that you do what is necessary to get to where you need to get to. All right. So I'm going to be running another 5 days job accelerated challenge in June. Okay, in June, right? Make sure you also communicate that with your friends that want to transition into cybersecurity. But talking about this is good. All right. So I will talk about that. So now that's to let you know that portfolio is essential if you want to transition into the field of cybersecurity. There is no way you can do that. I've had the privilege of mentoring a lot of people from different backgrounds, right? People that have background in correctional officer job, or probably that doesn't even have IT background, or went to high school even in abroad, came to this country and didn't even go to any school, but eventually went through this training and got uh, opportunity to work through this boot camp, all because they ensure that they put themselves through the necessary information. Now, interview mastery. Now, the reason why we are doing all of these things is for us to be able to get interview. Okay, is for us to get an interview, and that is why that's what we talked about the last class. Now, I want to show you few things, or walk you through briefly what where all these documents reside. So this document, they all reside in this particular folder. You're probably going to be getting access to some of them, but let's look at day one. For day one, we have these documents that give you the prompt how to build your resume. Okay, so this will tell you, I think we have about, how many prompts did we? 7 AI prompts to build a job ready cybersecurity resume, right? If you go through this, you'll be able to build a job ready resume. Okay, so just go through each of those prompts, right? And you should have your resume at the end of the day. Now, going back, then there is also another one, which is a single prompt that can do everything for you at once. So instead of copying 7 prompts, right, this particular prompt, just copy the entire prompt from here and about 9 pages, and just dump it either uh, into Claude or into ChatGPT, and then you should have a resume ready for you. Either one will work fine for you. So that's to let you know that the one information is available for day 2 as well. So you have the prompt. This particular prompt says uh yeah, how to boost your SSI, right? But before the SSI, there comes about your LinkedIn. So this is what you can do to build your LinkedIn, right? We have few prompts, okay, uh, to correct your headline. This is the prompt. Then about section, that is the prompt. Then if you are a job switcher, you are switching from one role to another role, or from one field to cybersecurity, this prompt will work better for you. Okay, so just go through that document and make sure you give it a serious thought. So this is just the image of what we talked about during the SSI, when I was giving the example of SSI and how to boost your SSI. Okay, so that's what that's all about. That's for day 2. Day 3, GitHub portfolio. We have these prompts that you need that you can use to build the instruction to build your GitHub. If you are struggling to build your GitHub, so these are the instructions that you need to follow to build your GitHub. All right, so just follow those steps and then it should work perfect for you. Then talking about the 5GRC project, right? Then this particular guide will also give you the prompts that you need to come up. And make sure, please, you cannot just fabricate any project without giving it thought. You need to understand what that project is all about. See, all this project that I identify here, There are projects that we talked about during the training for those that have access to the training. You understand? So you make sure you go through that. You can't just post anything and you cannot defend. So that's very, very important. So that's for day 3. And of course, day 4, for last week, we talked about the interview mastery. So we have a couple of questions that we went through. But for you to prepare for every interview, for every job, so these prompts will guide you how to prepare for it. So the good thing is that all of these prompts, this is what I need to let you know. You know, one of the challenges of AI is that the same prompt, if it is used by different people, can produce similar results, right? So which means if you ask ChatGPT to use the same prompt to create a resume and another person use the same prompt to create their resume, it's very possible for some of the verbiage to be very similar. And now, who is now the original? But everything about all the prompts that we are giving to you, if you use it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, it's going to give you variations. It's not going to look anything close. So, and this is simply because we understand that a lot of people will be having access to all these prompts, and we don't want them to be producing exactly the same resume. Okay, so that's why that's one thing I want you to know. Fine, you have the same prompt, you can tweak it, but these particular prompts, they have all been refined and vetted, confirmed to be able to produce different variations of what you want it to do. Okay, so that's very, very essential for you to know as well. Okay, so for day 5 as well, you're going to see those documents right here. Okay, day 5. Let me still talk a little bit about day 4. For day 4, we talk about how to answer the question using the star. Okay, what the star stands for. And then at the bottom here, we have the checklist, something to guide you that you have completed day 4. All right, we have those checklists there. Just run through that. It's also going to tell you to specify how to create or craft some of these interview questions, either behavioral or some technical question. It gives you an idea. You have to be intentional about everything that you are doing. So before work, you have work. And the greatest work that you have right now is your work to be able to get the job done by doing what is essential. Now, I want to introduce you to our community. So, this is the community that we currently have, right? And then, if you have access to this community, you'll be able to chat with us or with any of our team members, right? And then in the learning session, you have the ultimate cybersecurity mentoring training. I'm using my admin access right now. So this is the course that is built with intention and with full guidance. Okay, and all these things that you see here, they're also going to produce more curriculum. We're going to be adding more curriculum to that, especially now that we have AI coming, we have CMMC. We are introducing a lot of courses to that. So it's essential for you to have access to this platform. Okay, very, very essential for you to do that. So, for Welcome to Cybersecurity Program, Introduction to Cybersecurity, Computer Networks and Protocols, Cybersecurity Fundamental Risk Management Framework, PCI DSS, SRA, Vulnerability and Cloud Compliance Mastery. And each of these comes with what I call business case, right? Now, what the business case does is that some of us will say, I know about cybersecurity, so why are you telling me about introduction to cybersecurity? What is computer? So why do I need to learn what is computer? Come on, give me something that is more juicy. We are simply aligning what you are learning with the real world. Why do you need to know about what cybersecurity is as a cybersecurity, as aspiring cybersecurity professional? So we have the business case or business case scenario to drive home the point. Okay, so and this, you don't need to submit anything for those ones. You just need to study those business case, and we have the answers for you as well, so that it helps you to understand what the business case is all about and what how to actually tackle that in real world. Okay, so and the same thing goes for each and every one of these. And then another good thing is that after every training, we have quiz. Okay, we have quiz that you can walk through, and this quiz is to kind of guide you as to what you need to learn and how you need to learn what you want to learn, or to test your knowledge about what you are learning. Okay, so more courses are going to be added to this. More courses will be added to the community. So if you are part of that community, you will have access to the present and also the future information about the about cybersecurity training. Now, let me also share with you what it looks like and what it costs, to join this community. Now, this is our page, right? All right. So you click here to join the community. I will share the page, the information in the chat room, so that everyone can walk through that as well. So it's an investment, and there is no, we want to make it easy for everyone to have access to what they need, right? So if you don't have 1997 to invest into this robust curriculum that give you the access to the training and give you access to the community for a lifetime, and also give you access to mentoring and guidance that is needed before, during, and after when you get a job. That is what that 1997 is. Now, that gives you a lifetime access. But if you do not have that yet, and you still want to be part of the curriculum, you still want to be part of what this training is, 199 per month, which means you pay, once you pay 199, right, you will have access to everything that you need to start learning right here, right now. Okay, so just click that link and make your purchase, and remember that that will be month to month. So you can do it for this month and say, okay, I'm waiting for my check to come through, right? And you pay for 1 month, and when your check come through and you pay the full month, I mean the full 1997, that gives you an opportunity to, at least, you don't stop learning, All right, you can start learning as early as right now. Okay, and then the same information that you have access to is the same for 1997 as well as 199, but the difference is that you have to keep renewing yours every month. But someone that pays 1997 just locked in, right, for a lifetime into that same community and into that same resources, and for the present and the future upgrade, he has access to that. He has access to the community. You also have access to the free calendars, right, to schedule a one-on-one with me. When you put yourself in the calendar and you schedule it one-on-one with me, we can talk and can be able to tailor and understand where you are, where you are going, and be able to give you the necessary support that you have, that you need to transition. So you have the link, and if you have been hesitating before to join any training and you are not even sure what they have to offer you, what you have lost trying to learn other things that's not producing for you has been more than 199, which is less than 200, right? But here you are investing 200 to understand what this whole thing is all about. And then what does it going to give you? It's going to give you access to what you need, at least for the first 30 days, right? Before you now renew for the lifetime access. Okay. So that is what that community is all about. Now, another thing that I want you to know is this. This is very, very important. This is the only learning platform that pays you for learning. What this means is that whichever subscription you pay for, either 199 or the lifetime access, you will have an affiliate link. Now, what that affiliate link does is that once you pay and you get your own affiliate link, you can share it with your friend, that affiliate link. If your friend use your affiliate link, the affiliate link that is customized to you, once they use that to subscribe, you will automatically get 10% of every of their subscription every time they make any payment. If they pay for the 1 year, not the lifetime access, right, which is 1997, which means you are getting almost $200 just like that from their subscription, which means you have 10% return on your investment. So this is the reason why we are ensured. I'm so passionate about this. So make sure you sign up, right, and to learn about what is important, and then from there you begin to progress in the direction that we have to go. That's very, very essential for us. Okay, so you will have access to all these resources, and then we take it up from there. Okay, so let's go after this, right? So the fourth day, which is last week, we talked about the interview mastery. To master your interview, everything we have been building is for us to get the job, and you cannot get a job without getting an interview. So the interview session is when they are going to vet the information, confirm that what you have, what they saw on the resume and what they have seen on your portfolio is actually what you have done. That's when you're able to defend your experience and claim your opportunity to work in that very beautiful company. So there are ways that you have to go about doing this interview. Okay, I did mention to us that you don't have the second chance to make the first impression. So you make the first impression the very first time. So, which means you have to ensure that you prepare intentionally very well for every interview. And how do you do that? Okay, how do you actually do that? How do you prove yourself? To make your interview experience easy, I came up with this method called the STAR method. STAR method gives you a better way to answer every interview question properly. And what does that stand for? Situation, the task, the action, and also the result. So whenever you're asking, answering any of these question, you need to make sure that you go through this particular method. Okay. Now, another thing before you actually go for an interview, because the fear of interview, some people will say, is the beginning of wisdom. Okay. There are levels of fear or trepidation that comes to you before you go for any interview. No doubt about it. You are not even sure if what you want to do is the right thing in the first place. So that fear is normal. It is not abnormal. But that fear is to help you prepare for that interview. Many people that feel so overconfident going for an interview are most of the time made a shipwreck of that interview. So don't feel pompous or feel overconfident going for any interview. That is rule number one. Go in with one level of fear, and this fear is not really fear, but is an expectation that will prepare you mentally, psychologically for every interview. It is essential. All right. So very, very important. Now, another thing I want you to know is that you are too intelligent, right, for any company to control how you feel about a job or about the job opportunity. You are too intelligent to subject yourself to that kind of ridicule. So what that means that you need to go into every interview with a mindset shift, that this job that I'm going for, I am the prize here. In the midst of how many people that is going for this interview, I'm the right candidate for this. That even my interviewer does not know more than me. I am there to defend my portfolio. I've known too much that I will not allow myself to be ridiculed. So when you go in with that more than enough mindset, your approach to every interview will be different. I told you, you have invested, let's say, for example, 1,997 in this training. In addition to that, you also go through 5 days of job accelerator challenge, taking two hours, hearing me shouting and screaming at you for 5 days, 2 hours every meeting session. That is 10 hours that you have invested, and not to even talk about the sleepless night that you have invested into learning, into building portfolio, into learning about those, into research. That's too much. Now, what they are even offering you as a salary, even if they are offering you $200 per hour, it cannot even compensate for what you have invested into that career. So see yourself as the prize to be won by that interviewer. So even if at the end of the whole thing, whether it goes good or it doesn't go so good. However way it goes, you are coming out of that interview with that level of confidence that yes, I did my best. Even if they say, oh, after careful review of this thing, there are so many clinical, they have all those discouraging verbiage. How do you feel reading all of those things? They said they have moved on, and you've read overnight, you've done everything for that same interview, and they said they move on. Move on to where? You are moving on without me. So when we hear a lot of this, they have moved on 2 or 3 times. Many of us, we feel discouraged. We just felt that, you know what, I'm the problem. You are not the problem. It's just that they cannot, you are too intelligent that they cannot even pay you for what you know. So approach your preparation, approach every interview with that mindset. Even after the interview, if they say they move on, just know that it's your loss. A company is right now looking for me to pay so much for what I know. So you moving on without me is your loss. So approach every of those things with that interview and with that mindset. Every interview with that mindset. I told you that most of the companies that I worked for, I fire them. As in, I told them I'm no longer working. 2 weeks, that's what I give you. Tell me where to send your laptop. I will send it to you. But I won't show up until Thursday before the Friday. That will be my last day. I have enough hours in the book. Use it to cover those 2 weeks. That's what I told them. Right? So you have to go in with that mindset. Okay, I went for an interview one time with CBP when they were still normal, not the kind of CBP that is the Custom Border Patrol, right? I mean, during the interview, I met with the program manager. That's what they call it himself, and he asked me one question, and I answered that question. And when I answered the question, he said, "You know what? I've interviewed a lot of people. You seem to be the person that answer me accurately. No, this particular question. You know what? I'm going to offer you this job. Say, uh, expect to hear from my HR." Okay, that's what he said. Okay, me, I've even forgotten about the interview. Honestly, I've forgotten completely about the interview because I was really not desperate for job. He just reached out to me through LinkedIn, and I mean every interview I don't turn them down. I just go for the interview, and I have to do that just for me to test what is going on in the market to be able to support all my students, right? And give them the expo, how they, what kind of question they're asking these days. I do those. So I forgot to complete that I had that interview. So it was maybe a week after, something just came to mind. Maybe I was watching TV, or me and my one of my friends were just discussing, and I said, wait, it seems I had an interview few days ago. Which company was it? Oh, I was racking my brain. So I went inside my email. I was now searching using some keyword CBP. So I came across that particular interview. I mean, the interview calendar link that they sent to me. So I said, oh, they haven't even got back to me yet. After almost a week, and the guy was like, he was so happy, he was so impressed, right? At the way I answered the question, that he said, you know what, I'm going to. So I said, what happened? They didn't get back to me again. So I now sent a follow-up email that I'm just following up on the interview that I had with Johnson Thomas on this also date concerning this particular role. I just want to know if there's any information that you need from me to expedite your decision, that kind of thing. Thanks. My name, Olukayode Shilaja. And the lady reached out to me and said, you know what, that they found out that you are not the best fit for the job. I said, okay. I'm very certain that you are looking at the wrong profile. He said, no, I'm looking at the right profile. He said, everywhere you've worked less than 1 year, at least the last three jobs that I said, me, less than 1 year. I said, I have no doubt that you are looking at the wrong profile. That's not me. But however, good luck to you on whoever that you are choosing for this thing. But I don't even, I was not even trying to drag it with her. I just know that you're looking at the wrong profile. Move on, shift, that kind of thing. So what am I actually talking about is this. You get to a point in your career that you are not even afraid of any decision that they are making. I had an interview with Deloitte. It was, guess the question, all the questions that they asked me, and that was not the first, that was not the second. Even some of my students too. Number one question that they have always been asking, and that I have emphasized during my mentoring training, is the 7 steps of risk management framework. The lady just said, tell me about, walk me through the 7 steps of risk management framework. I said, okay, now, you want me to walk you through the 7 steps of risk management framework? Is it as an ISSO or as a security control assessor? Because the approach will be different. He said, well, I should choose. And then I went through that. In less than 2 minutes, I knocked out the 7 steps. Any other question? He said, well, you know what? No further question. They offer me the job that same day. They send me the information, expect your laptop, this, so and so. I completed the whole thing. They want me to sign. I was just going to sign. So, you know what? I don't want trouble for myself. I just send them an email. I say, you know what? I've reconsidered my decision. You can pull up this offer. I rejected that offer. You understand? So, these are many more, right? These are things that you can do. You get to a point and how do you get there? It's not because I've known everything about cybersecurity that I don't even need them again. No, I'm still learning. As I am teaching you right now, before this class, I was going through, for the last 4 hours, I was in a class, in a Zoom class, learning, right? And I will continue the learning again. June 1st to 4, I'm still going to, I schedule another learning session. That is not me teaching now, me learning something for personal development and for my student development. So we continue to learn. So I can't invest so much time and energy and money on training, and somebody will now think that because you want to offer me how much, you are going to insult me. So that mindset, the long and short of this whole ranting of mine, is just to let you know, don't see yourself as a victim of bad economy. That's why you're not getting a job. Let me tell you another thing about job opportunities. You see, sometimes, let's say a company, federal government especially, if they have a project to execute, they will post the job and then different company will bid, will submit proposal for that project. And it's only one person that they will give the project to. Okay? So now, when 10 people submit proposal, part of their proposal is that show us the credentials of people that will be working with you to execute this project. Now they already have the scope of work, SOW, right? That's what we call it. They have the scope of work from the government about what project they want to do, right? Now, and the kind of people that they need, the roles that they will be needing to fill and to fulfill that project. They need 5 GRC person or 2 GRC person. they need technical person, they need a PMO. They already, so maybe for that particular project, they need about 5 or 10 roles, different roles. And they posted that job on the job that they have not even gotten, they posted it that they have it. Just to get you and me to apply for that role, and then they collect your resume and they interview you. For they do not have that job yet, but they put out the job to get you to submit your proposal, your resume, and they interview you. They see your certification. Oh, yeah, the best at this. And now they all this your resume, they will modify, edit it, put their logo on it as the people that they have in their team to do this project. Okay? Now they submit it as part of the proposal to the government. Now, let's say about 3 or 4 companies did the same thing. Having to see a situation whereby some of these Asian people, they reach out to you and they say we should sign what they call right to RTR, right to represent, right? That is, no company should reach out to you concerning that same project that they have already picked you, because they see that a lot of people are going to be doing the same thing. So they don't want a situation whereby 3 companies got the same person to be on their team, right? So you sign right to represent with ABC company so that nobody should pick you up again for that role and submit your credentials or your resume as part of the proposal for that. They do not have that project, many of them. Now, when they submit that thing, out of 5 or 3 of them that submitted the proposal, guess what? It was just only one that got the proposal. Maybe it's not even the company that interviewed you that got the proposal. Many of them don't even have that decency to tell you that they move on or that they do not have the job. Some of them, they'll just ghost you. You did perfectly well in the interview, but they did not call you back to say whether you got the job. And you perform well, right? And you feel like I'm the problem here. Why is everybody not giving me the job? You are not the problem. They don't have the job. They don't have the job. Now, for those of them that have that decency, they say, and have that careful consideration of whatever they are considering, that is not, that doesn't, that they did not even get the job, that they move on. They didn't move anywhere. They're still looking for the next job to go and job hunt. That is how many of these companies survive. They're also looking for job. So when they are looking for you and they find you, you are the solution to their problem. You know what I tell some of these people? When we are negotiating, how much do you want to collect? I say, how much is this project paying for this role? Because I understand that every project, they are funded different ways. So don't tell me how much I want to collect. How much is your project able to afford to pay me for this role? So now I've turned the table back to them. So they are forced to tell me, okay, for this role, we can only afford $30 per hour. No, don't even do anything $30, but that's just a slip of tongue. Let's say they said $65 an hour. Oh no, my current rule, I'm put it there, $80 an hour. So anything less than $80 an hour, you start to negotiate. Instead of you saying that, if you just give me $25 an hour, I will do. In fact, I will do beyond what you want to do. Flip the script. I understand that every project they have funded differently, but if you don't mind, what does this project actually have to pay for my role in this? Because you let them see. If you look at my resume, you see I have this and this experience. I have this, and I've been in this field for the past 5 years. Even my portfolio spoke better. The same thing that you are looking at, I've done it before. So let me let you know that it's going to be a win-win for both of us, because if you pay me well, I get to stay on this project for a while. My role is highly competitive. My resume is highly competitive. So you pay me well, and then I will deliver for you. You negotiate. Let them know that you are the prize right here. Okay, so going for that interview, go with that mindset. They are desperate to fill that role, and they have found you. Go there and hold them by anywhere you want to hold them, that make them scream. Hold them on and make them deliver. So it's very, very essential. Why I'm saying this is to give you an inside information to guide you, and don't feel discouraged. Even if 2 of them, 5 of them, you submitted 10, and all the 10, God forbid, all the 10 came back and say they are sorry. Unfortunately, you understand? Once I see those unfortunate, I just delete. I don't even want to read. Once the address is longer than the letter, I know that they don't have anything. I just delete instantly. You understand? Don't let that discourage your job hunting. Don't let that discourage you from applying. Don't let that discourage you from submitting. A company is out there looking for you. As a matter of fact, most companies that have something to offer you, they don't stress you. That's the truth. They don't stress you. Most companies that have something, they do not stress you. They won't be doing 7 interviews to fill that role. No, they will not stress you. Okay? So, I want to make sure that you have this idea, have this mindset. Please, I beg you. Because many of us, we feel discouraged a lot. Right? You feel like, is anything wrong with my resume? Fine, there is need for me to showcase more of my project to prove that I can do that job. I need to do more research. No doubt about that. But if you spend about 2 hours, maybe in the long run, no, you can reduce it to 2 hours every day and do something about job application, search for job, curate your resume, and ship it out there for job opportunity. Guess what? You will get something. So visibility is important. So this is you searching for job, right? But what about the job searching for you? That is where the portfolio and LinkedIn comes in. So you have to make sure you build a portfolio and build a LinkedIn that will be attracting those opportunities to you. Okay, it's going to be attracting it to you. Some of them will reach out to you directly. The job that they did not even post anywhere, they will reach out to you and give you that link, direct link, that you apply for the job. So the job is looking for you now. You're not the one looking for job. While you're sleeping, the job is looking for you. Okay, so it's important. So if you have been discouraged before about job search, job hunting, right? Renew that hope again. Please renew that hope. Okay, you are not disadvantaged. I need to sound this very well. You are not disadvantaged. You have the right thing, but you are the price that many of these companies, they are willing to pay for. Okay, so many of us will ask this question: am I good enough? Instead of that, what value do I bring? Some people will say, hope they will like me. They don't like anybody. But your mindset should be, can they afford to not hire me? Right? If your mindset had been, I need this job, rather, why not say, I choose the right opportunity? Okay? If you are nervous about questions, make sure you prepare with star stories. Rehearse your lines. There are some lines that are repetitive to you. Tell me about yourself. Everyone should be able to prepare your thoughts about that. Tell me about yourself. They are not asking you about, oh, I'm a male, black male from this thing. That's not what they're asking for. They are trying to gauge what you are in terms of your career capacity, who you are. And that's what you want to talk about. Don't distract them about this, about your certification, about your degree. No, they don't want to care. They display your result first. No, this I am a subject matter expert in this place. I've had the privilege of completing about this thing, and through this project, 60% of this thing we maintain our 60% compliance. This, tell them about who you are. That's who you are. Okay, someone that walk into a company that is troubled, and as a result of what you did, you pull them from. I told you about my company when I was working as IVM, Internet Vulnerability Management Team. They gave me a particular tool to do the. They were in D, right? And I put within 6 months, I put them from D to A plus. That is who I am. So you're walking into that interview with the credentials, with the evidence that this is who I am. Tell me about yourself. You are talking to someone that when I walk into a company, no, if they have this particular thing, I will pull it out. And for example, I have done it before. In this particular, if you go through my portfolio, this is what it says, and then you walk them through what that is. This particular one, and how did you do that? I did this. So tell them who you are. That is who you are. You are not Mr. Lagbaja that lives in Conroe, Texas, and you are black male or black female and married with 3 kids, and no, that nobody cares about that. You're just wasting their time if you're telling them about who you are. So that's just one example. So make sure that you craft your tell me about yourself. Make sure you do that very well. Practice that over and over again. Make sure you do the necessary research, okay, to understand that. Then we talked about top 5, although this thing talked about 10, but I removed the remaining 5. But the remaining information is in the document that I'll be giving to you. The top 5 interview questions that you get to ask. Some of them are technical, some of them are behavioral, right? So just walk through them. Like, for example, explain the difference between vulnerability, risk, and threats. Okay, that may be one of those questions. A wonderful sister that was hired also last week gave us the full answer about what vulnerability, risk, and threat is all about. Okay, and for us, a vulnerability is a weakness in a system. Okay, for example, an unpatched CVE, that is a vulnerability. A threat is the actor, okay, or events that might exploit that vulnerability, such as a ransomware. Then risk is the intersection, that is the likelihood of that threat exploiting that vulnerability. That is the threat, the risk, right? So answer the question, just practice some of these things. You don't need to cram it, just try to relate with it. You find that if you practice minimum of 10 questions for every interview, you only need to do that for about 2 or 3 interviews. If you practice 10 questions for about 3 interviews, the remaining interview that you're going to be having, you are not going to even be reading any book. You will have memorized and internalized it, because some of them, the interview questions would be very consistent with what you have experienced before. Everybody that have gone through the cybersecurity mentoring training with us should be able to conveniently walk them through the 7 steps of risk management framework. You should be able to. And remember, we have an acronym for that, okay? And the acronym is Peter can sing in an awesome manner. Peter can sing in an awesome manner. And whatever that means to you, that's what it is. Prepare, categorize, select, implement, assess, authorize, monitor. Peter can sing in an awesome manner. So these are examples. So let me tell you, that thing that I talked about right now, that's a full interview that gave me the job with Deloitte. That's the same interview that gave me an opportunity to work with Microsoft. The same understanding. And because you understood that for Microsoft, it was 43 hours interview. 45 minutes, I met with 3 people, 45 minutes with one person per person, and 15-minute interval between that. 3 hours interview. And what were they asking about? Tell me about one of them. They kind of divided these steps into 3, right? The first one talked about, how do you categorize? Give me an example. How do you select? What are the types of control and things like that? Tell me about the most difficult control and things like that. Just focus on the first 2. The next one talked about the next 2, that is assessment and you know implementation, whatever that is. I'm talking now, not thinking, right? So that is how, and you are able to walk them through example of the control, how to implement, what are the tools you use for implementation, how did you do that. Now those kind, and it was very interactive. And then what are the challenges you are facing, implementing control, and how do you assess those things? What are the three methods of assessing control? I said I use tie method. What do you mean by tie method? What do you mean by tie? I said test, interview, and examine. They said they've not heard that before. That's my own acronym. That's the way I internalized and understood my distance. And I walked them through those things. For another 45 minutes, another one coming. This one said, I've gotten report from the first 2 people. They said, you killed this interview. Let me tell you, if both of them have already cleared you, there is no more question I can ask you, Mr. Ruben. See, let me tell you. Okay, I like sport. You now started talking about sports. And that is how the interview ended. So, what am I actually talking about? So this curriculum, I'm not making math, that is crafted with you in mind, helping you to understand GRC and be able to articulate everything. If you spend 2 weeks, 1 month to understand that, and you go out there, you put your resume together, you can take home this job. Mr. What's his name? Agbola, that's his name. He was so discouraged. He was paying bills here and he has house in Nigeria. He just moved his things into somebody's garage. He said he was going to Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. It was, right, that he was taking interview. And he was in Nigeria when he was doing the training. I didn't know. He did the training, he completed the training, and was searching for job, taking job interview when he was in Nigeria, because he felt like his bill was piling up here. He didn't have the job to support himself, right? He moved to Nigeria. I didn't know. And he got the job while he was in Nigeria because he gave himself 1 month to get the job. He said every day he was applying and getting interview. He got the job with, I think he's still currently with Atlanta. Is it the transit company or something? Right? I mean, I have about 3 people working in that same company that came through this. What am I actually saying? I'm telling you the evidence of what you are paying for or what you are paid for, what it can deliver. It depends on how you flip it. I'm helping you to understand that thing is what you need to get the job. Don't make it complicated. Don't make it too complex. And when Agbala was telling me, he said the question that they asked him was to explain the 7 steps of risk management framework. He said, God will punish him if you not get that job. And he killed that thing, right? So what are we talking about? Ensure you understand the ultimate cybersecurity mentor training. Don't Many of us, if it is not confusing and you didn't pay 10,000 for it, and then they ask you to be jumping and be building lab all through the night, and you are coding and decoding, if it's not difficult, it's not valuable. That's the way the mind of men have been wired. Okay, that training, they are just the I consolidated years of experience into that, and things that have been working and proven to be working. They have been carefully put into that thing to give you the answers that you are seeing there. So when you go through that training, right, what does it cost you to join? Less than $2,000. Okay, so it's important for you to understand that. All right, so questions that you need to that is possible for you to encounter during the interview. Tell me about the time you handled a security incident, right? This is also very common. So you don't have to necessarily, tell them a cybersecurity related thing, because you have not technically done that physically before. But what you are going to be telling them is about a similar situation, right, that happened. And I gave you an example when I was working as correctional officer, when we have to run what we call five-man team. It's an incident response team because one of our assets decided to become a nuisance, and we had to respond to that situation. He wanted to hold himself hostage and things like that. So we had to respond to that. That's a security incident. As a correctional officer, I can flip it around into a cybersecurity situation whereby a particular ransomware trying to invade our system or a zero-day vulnerability came. And how did we respond? We have to create what we call CVRP, that is critical vulnerability remediation plan. And these are the things that I did to achieve that. Let's talk about that. Okay, so you are using the experience of a correctional officer, in my own case, to respond to. I translated it into cybersecurity incident to defend that particular question. So which means whatever you are doing right now, that experience is transferable into cybersecurity. Very, very important. What is GRC and how have you applied it? So that's another question that you can go through. And in that folder that I shared with you, all right, I have all those questions there. Give me 1 second. I just want to show you where the question is. All right, so this job accelerator, that might be the first one then. Okay, yeah. So some of those questions, they are here. The 10 questions, right? The T stands for the technical question, B for the behavioral. Okay. So, and then the reason why that is done, right? You see some of those answers, and then the key point that you need to remember, right? It's very, very important. So, all the information that you need to get you to where you need to get to, they have been provided. So, and that's what you have in that AI powered mock interview practice. You have the guidance for the interview question and also the AI prompt that you need to help you with that. All right. So, and everyone is being, I believe you understand what we've talked about so far. So the last thing I feel that I need to talk about is these IT certifications. Now, if you have heard me talk before, cybersecurity can be perceived from two major perspectives. We have the technical side and we also have the non-technical side. If I had to go a little bit, drill deep into what cybersecurity is, I will tell you that cybersecurity can be perceived from the operations side, from the compliance side, and from the technical side. And then, how do you know which side you belong to? It depends on which role you are applying for. So some people, they are applying for hunting, threat hunting, or DevOps, DevSecOps. All those people that have something to do with coding and decoding, programming, Linux engineer. You've learned a lot about those things. That is a technical cybersecurity role. There are job opportunities there, but it doesn't mature faster like a non-technical role. I've said that before. So, which means for you to work in that aspect, there are so many certifications and so many pre-work that you need. Like you need to learn about coding, about programming, about Linux, about this and things like that before you can even be considered for that $80,000 per annum job. Okay, so technical, their trouble was just too much. Security Operations Center is another one, SOC. People consider it as, yeah, SOC is easy. It's not easy. Okay, you still need to do a lot of pre-work. And another thing about SOC is that SOC, we have SOC 1, SOC 2, SOC 3. SOC 1, which is the entry level, the triage people at the SOC 2, SOC 3 are the engineer, the brain behind it. None of them gets above 120,000. And then the work that they do is also much. Those are technical, but the non-technical side of the whole thing is the GRC. And GRC cut across every aspect of cybersecurity. There is no aspect of cybersecurity that doesn't need compliance. Why? Because compliance is what cybersecurity is all about. Okay, so and that is what it's. So when you have this compliance experience, you can work in any field. You have broad view of career opportunities. This is not about what I read in the book. This is what I know. I've been in this field. Currently, I am working with the coder. They code anything. They can code anything. I work with DevOps in, and they are located any part of this world. But guess what? Anything they do, they still need my permission to do that. I have to check whatever code they are writing if it's consistent with the framework that we need. So what that means is that you are still the decision maker as a GRC. Your job is not to code, but to understand that what the people that are coding, what they are doing, needs to comply with rules and regulation. And if they don't listen to you, there is no way they are not going to get into trouble. If you see any company that get hacked, if you see any problem, any company that has security incident issue, it's because they fail the compliance side of the whole thing, because the compliance people are the one that prevent the security incident from happening. And any company will pay premium to ensure that you have someone that have understanding of preventing security incidents, that have the GRC experience. See, I'm making a case for GRC roles. So, and in the same vein, I'm also trying to let you know, depending on the line of career that you have chosen to go into, which should be the very first thing that you do before you embark on this journey at all. Clarity. That's what I said. You need clarity and the right path. Okay. That will set the stage for which certification eventually you need. But I'm going to limit our certification view and research and review to the certification that align with what I train you for what we are poured into you, which is compliance. That is what I'm going to limit this thing to. I've seen people up to me, okay, tell me which certification do I need? And a lot of smart people everywhere, you understand? Very wonderful people, very smart. They've already paid for certification and they have been renewed this certification for only God knows how many years, right? You've done the right thing, but probably in the wrong order, right? Certification is good, but having a better understanding of what you want to do is good, is essential. Now, I have all manner of certifications too, and this creep up on me as a result of school and also different projects. But the basic certification that you need, there are not more than 4 to start with, right? And you have them on the screen. Computer Security Plus is one of it. Computer Security Plus is a bridge between the technical and compliance side. I don't know why it is considered as an entry level certification. I don't know why they rated it a little less than CISSP, because it's that trouble that you go through to get Security Plus that they call entry level certification is a bit higher than what CISSP will offer you. Okay, now let's talk about that. Security Plus have a mix of the technical and non-technical. Maybe I can actually pull up an information on that right now. This is not me. I'm always very prepared for most of my presentation, but just to prove something to you, that this thing came to mind while we were talking. Let me share with you the curriculum. Why am I here? I need to just go to CompTIA website. Let's just go to CompTIA website. They have a lot of other certifications that they offer, but let's just look at the Security Plus. They have a lot, all of these certifications. They are great. But if you want to spend money on certification that will give you direction, that will, you know that you have this certification that will lead you in the Security Plus is number one, right? If you can have it, that would be awesome. I'm looking for their curriculum. They keep changing the curriculum. Okay, so these are the curriculum. I think it has about 6 domains, right? Overview, the general security concept will take 12%, and these are things that you're going to learn from it. You see, CIA, we talked about CIA, we talked about some of the zero trust and all of these things. So under this particular domain, this is what you learn. Then they have threats, vulnerability, and mitigations, right? So they talked about some of those information. You get information about vulnerability management, about threats, about all of these things. So all this curriculum, especially the first 2 weeks of the ultimate cybersecurity mentoring training, is based off on the Security Plus curriculum to give you an overview of what you should know to help you with your career. So these are things that they talked about here: hardware, software, operating system, and all those good stuff. Then security architecture too. All right. They talked about other things. The security operation, 28%, right? That's another one. Talk about vulnerability management alert and monitoring, all those good stuff, DLP and things like that, security program management and oversight. So they talked about security compliance, they talked about third-party risk, risk management, security governance, security awareness. They talked about NIST and all those frameworks as well. So the reason why this is very important is this, because it cut across both technical and non-technical things. So that's why it is rated as one of those entry-level positions. Now, if you go and do Network Plus, A plus, it's just to exercise your brain. It doesn't, 99% of any cybersecurity role, 100%, let me even put it that way, 100% of cybersecurity role, they are not looking for someone that have A plus and Network Plus. I can tell you for free. But you see that many of them will tell you security plus the barest minimum. So if you want to do any certification, you want to start preparing for any certification, security plus will be the right way to go. Okay. Now, again, this kind of give us, I know they've changed some of these things, right? I used to have some very uh, a mapping role, right? Some roles that kind of map with some of these things. I'm not familiar with this, except we just go through it together. Okay. So for cybersecurity analyst or engineer, that is similar to this. This is similar to what you are going to do. Okay. You need this security plus. Okay. So anyone that want to fill this role, cybersecurity specialist, architect, pen tester, you're not even pen tester in any way, but your role is like the cybersecurity specialist, engineer, or architect or something. This is the certification that you need. Okay, so I prove to you now that having security plus is one of those certifications that you need, but it's not all that you need. If you are also career changer, if you are changing from one career into cybersecurity, yes, you need security plus. How do you register for security plus? If you go to Pearson View, Pearson View is a proctor center. Just go to this website, okay? And when you get there, tell them which exam you want to do. In our own case, you want to do CompTIA, right? And then it's going to take you to CompTIA website on Pearson View. And then you go ahead, and if you don't have a profile with them yet, right, you go ahead and create your own profile. Okay, maybe you continue to log in, and from there you sign up. So when you sign up, I don't know how they do it now, but I think I heard that you can do it from home now. You can do it remotely, but create account, and then once you complete that, fill in your detail, your home address, everything. And then when it's time for you to schedule the exam, you log back into that profile, and then you put in your address, and it's going to show you the proctor center around you where you can go to and do that exam. Okay. Usually they say it's 100 question, but oh, somebody just confirmed that. Oh, bro, just confirmed that you can take CompTIA Plus from home. Thank you so very much. The time I did this certificate, I've just been renewing it, right? I've taken it like many years ago. So, but one thing is that for every certification that you have, it has 3 years of expiration, right? So, which means before that 3 years, you need to renew. You need to rack up the CEU, that is the credit units, right? to have them renew. Training or doing any higher certification would be a requirement that qualify for CEU. So once you have those ones submitted, then they just renew it for you. So you don't have to do the exam again, right? But you keep paying, you pay to renew it, and also you also need to do CEU to do that. So that's one thing about certification. Now, if you want to learn more, if you need recommendation about the books that you need or how to prepare for the certification, I believe I have something that I put together for you, right, in that platform, right, that will tell you how to prepare for that. Just go through that, right? These two documents is going to guide you in the right direction. So let's go back to class. Then the second certification that I recommend, second and third, is either CISA or CISM or both of them, right? It doesn't matter. Okay. Then the fourth one is CISSP. CISSP, you don't need to have it now before you do before you get the job, because you require about 5 years before you can actually be a full CISSP. If you have the CISSP, if you pass the CISSP exam and you did not prove that you have 5 years experience, you are going to be given CISSP associate, despite the fact that you pass it, but you didn't have the accurate work to back that up. But if you have 5 years experience, then you have the full CISSP. So CISA and CISM, they are ISACA exam, okay? And also ISACA has a lot uh, of certification that they also monitor. Now, I have craved the indulgence of everyone. Emmanuel, I'm going to attend to you in a minute. I've craved the indulgence of everyone, especially for those of us that came in early, that today, because being the last day of the class, we might be spending a little longer than 2 hours that we schedule, right? And this is simply because I want to make sure that you get all the necessary information that you need for us to be done with this month's 5-day job accelerator challenge. Okay, so Emmanuel, over to you.
Thank you, sir. I just have a quick question to ask you concerning the CISM and the CISA, because I know this CISA is specifically for IT auditor, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I just want to know the difference between them and which one is the best to do, because I'm kind of confused
Okay.
on which one to go for. Yeah,
You are
thank you.
very correct. So now CISA talks about Certified Information Security Auditor, and CISM is Certified Information Security Manager. Okay. So now it doesn't matter which one you go for, whether you're an auditor or you're a manager. The most important thing is that you have that certification, right? But what I do recommend for everyone, just take CISM, right? CISM. Now, the good thing is that all of them, right, they are proctored by the same thing, and they have the same, what do we call it? Credentials, right? That is required to fill them, right? But if you do the CISM, it's just like you're an auditor and then you have a manager. So manager, of course, would be regarded more than an auditor, right? I've seen people that they have about 3 different certification with ISACA. It's fine too, right? It's fine, right? But if you want to take one out of these two, just take CISM. That's my own recommendation, and I'm speaking because that's what I really have. With the ISACA, I only pick their CISM, right? I had a lot of, okay, yeah, I also have CDPSC, Okay. I was grandfather into CDPSC, right? So which means I actually have two, CISM and CDPSC. Okay, that's Certified Data Privacy Solution Engineer. I have both of them. I take that back. Yes, two certifications with them. And the good thing is that you have to be paying for each and every one of them every year to renew them. You have to pay for the membership every year to keep your certification. They are all something. I mean, every year, maybe what goes into ISACA certification renewal, the crime that I've committed, with regards to ISACA, is that I pay them $400 for having CISM, CDPSC, just to keep that paper active. Okay, that's just for the ISACA. Now, to talk about Security Plus, to talk about which one did I even have? Now, CHFI, that's Certified Ethical Hacker, and also the Forensic Investigator. I have those certification too. I also have some of these cloud-based this thing. Then for the uh, for which one is that one? There's one that give me that's CompTIA. CompTIA also, I didn't only have the Security Plus with CompTIA. I have the CISSO, that is Certified Chief Information Security Officer, right? Which is also a certification. See, I've listed all of these things. Now, people will say, "Oh, I envy you. I also want to get more certification." I just told you almost 1,000 every year goes into renew all of these things. They are necessary evil, right? So the more you have, the more you pay. Just let me let you know right off the back. So I'm amassing all certification. They are great, but the pros and cons. Let's just weigh pros and cons. They are necessary evil. Then uh so if you want to take any of this certification, you come here. Just make sure you create a profile with them, you sign up, and then you follow the information, okay, that is necessary. Then we have the CISSP, the Almighty Father, CISSP. That's proctored by ISC Square, okay. That is information. I'm trying to see if I can remember what that stands for. Okay, information, whatever that is. Don't let me just butcher things. Let's do that together. Okay, what the ISC square is like IISSCC. That's why they call it ISC square. Maybe if you go to about us, whatever they stand for. Okay, who we are. So the our goal actually here is to foresee what are those certifications that they offer. Now, I will tell you this for free. And take me up on this. Take me up on this. You see this particular one, certify in in cybersecurity. It's one of their new certification. It doesn't offer you any job opportunity. Okay? But it's an entry level thing for any career switcher to prove that, yeah, I've been doing a lot of work as regards cybersecurity. You can try to take this on your own, right? They have the guide here. I really don't have to do this myself, but whatever that this is what they said is inside. Okay, it's all inside. CC is in the community file, whatever. So it just give you a high level information about cyber security. Okay, but just know that this $200 that you are going, almost $300, right, that you're going to pay is just to prove that I've been doing something in cybersecurity, right? But the real juicy certification are anyone apart from the CC. Okay, CISSP is very common. CCSP, that is the cloud security, is another one. But what is most common is CISSP. So for every job, every cyber security job, take me up on this. Every cyber security job that you are going to be going for, that you're going to be interviewing for, they are all going to be asking you any any of these four. If you have any of these four or two of these four, it doesn't matter how you combine it, you have the right certification. Now, you may along the line go for any of these cloud certification like Amazon Solution Architect or AZ500, that is Azure. These are vendor-based certification. But just to let you know that if you, depending on the project that you are working with in your current company, will determine which of those vendor certification you need. Let me give you an example. When I was on a project with the Social Security Administration, right? They were migrating from the cloud, about 6 systems. They are migrating from the physical infrastructure into the cloud. So the cloud service provider system, thank God I'm no longer with them, so I can talk about this for free. They were aligning more with Amazon. So as the security compliance team that was monitoring the migration, so it was necessary for me at that time because I was leading the project. So I had to have Amazon, that is the solution architect certification. So I sat for it and I did that. I passed, as that's why I added it to my portfolio. Now, when I moved from there and I went to projects with Microsoft, like I did say, now most of they are selling their services to all their customers and that we are showing them how to build systems. So some of the projects that I was leading, I needed to have the solution architect version of the Amazon. So I had to still sit down again and purchase a training on AZ500. That is security engineer role. So I had those certification, Amazon and Azure, solution architect or solution engineer, whatever that name is called, as part of my this thing. And the thing about those certification is that you have to be renewing them every 1 year. It's not even 3 years like the other one. Every year you have to be renewing those ones. Okay, so uh, that's it. So talking about certification, don't overstress yourself. Any certification, because you are remember that I mentioned these ones because it aligns with compliance rules, right? That's why I've selected this for. There are 1001 certifications out there. Do I have more than this? Yeah, of course I have more than this. But are they necessary? They are not really necessary. And I gave you example, reason why I have to have many of these things. Okay. But advising you, if you have any of these four, if you have two, any two, you are fine. I have a friend that just only have one. He only has SADA and passed the CISSP, and I'm sure he's paying less every year to maintain certification. You understand? So just make sure that you are well advised when it comes to certification. Now, if you already have certification, right, it's a very great advantage for you. In fact, you have 3x the opportunity to get the job. And also, if you do not have certification yet, let me address that. It doesn't mean that you will not need to, you shut down every opportunity to do certification. No, it's just telling you that you are going to also create every week study time to start preparing for some certification. And on your resume, put there that security plus in progress, okay, or CISSP in progress. You can put it on your resume and make sure that you are actually preparing for those certifications. So in addition to searching for job and building your portfolio, create a time, maybe 5 hours every week, 1 hour every day or something, to start preparing and planning and preparing for some certification, and put on your resume that you are preparing for those certifications. Now, the what that will do for you, if you put that on your resume that you are working on a certification, is that it shows that cybersecurity is a progressive career. It shows that you are very conscious and intentional about your relevance in the field of cybersecurity. When they see that every time you are working on something, you are learning, if you are learning cybersecurity, you are studying for this certification, it shows progression in your resume, in your portfolio. And that is why, even if you have all of this certification, put there that you are studying for CCSP in progress, right? It shows that they don't just want to see that what you have earned. They want to see what you are aspiring to become. You will not believe so many things that goes into this career decision making. When you have 5 people that tie for this role, you want to streamline them to maybe 2. Now, what does this one have that this one doesn't have? Oh, this one is learning something. Okay, this one is in school. This one enrolled in this course, is learning this thing, is in progress. This one just completed. But now, if you put there that you have degree, for example, think about it. You too, put yourself in their shoe. You put in your resume that you have degree in IT or in computer science, and you know they're going to tell you, when did you graduate? And you graduated 1993. You think about it yourself now. You are looking for a job in 2026. The education that you have is that of 1993. You did not show that you did something recently or that you are doing something currently that make you relevant. Don't just list on your resume, and I may not have this one documented anywhere, but don't just list on your resume what you have acquired. List on your resume what you are aspiring, what you are working on, that shows that you are relevant in this field. Put there, you are studying for AI security. AI security. There are so many certifications on AI. The one that you just got, the one that you are working on, put it there. Put it there. That you are doing something on AI. This thing. AI is the in thing right now. Okay? Just make sure that your resume show progression, please. All right? It's very, very important. I have so many things to say, but I just want to freelance my conversation, to make sure that I cover many of these things. What else do I need to talk about? Okay, the pass rate of all of this thing. We really don't need to, I don't need to scare you about the pass rate. If you study, you pass, period. So what people did, or how they did what they are doing, doesn't really matter, right? And this one also show the cost of certification. Now, I got a question. Yeah, do we need to get these certifications before applying for jobs? No. I You don't need to get the certification before you apply for job. You can be applying for a job while you're preparing for certification. Okay, but don't don't slow down. You already have what it takes to start applying right now. Okay. Okay, so I believe that covers that question. So all this study roadmap, it just depends on who you are talking to. Okay, it just depends on who you are talking to. The amount is correct, right? But the daily study time, it depends on your schedule. The timeline also depends on your schedule, right? So I've seen people that study for CISSP within 2 weeks. Why not? Okay. So very important. We have come to the end of this 5 days job accelerator challenge, and the most important thing for you today, okay, I've talked about it. You cannot just you can't study on your own. You need the guidance of a mentor, someone that can guide you into this career. You have two ways to achieve that. Either you go through this program and then you just say, you know what, I already have given you all the necessary information. I don't gatekeep, right? If I don't gatekeep for a free class, how much more for my mentored class? So you have a community that will guide you, that will support you. You have the curriculum that will help you understand what you're getting into. And you also have a mentor, okay, that will be there to support you all through your career journey. So these are very important for you to know. Okay. So remember that and just know that you walk through the necessary thing. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. I share valuable insight. Maybe I should just show you some of those insight on my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook as well. Who are these people now? Today alone. Why are these people coming on my feed? I don't know them. Okay. So I
En
share
2012,
valuable information.
en 2012, montré aux États-Unis sous visa.
I speak English, guys. I speak English. Okay, so I post almost every day on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn as well. So these are my most recent posts, right? That get posted like almost every time. So just feel free, follow me on everywhere you can find me. Right. I'm posting my TikTok handle here, and share that with your friends as well. And let's make cybersecurity great again, right? Let's make it great again. Right. So let's make cybersecurity great again. All right. So that's all I have. Do you have any question? Please feel free to ask me any question. And let me also see the progress in your search, in your job search. Let me see that progress. All right. It's very important. The reason why we spend so much time doing all these things is simply because we are we 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 are passionate about who we want you to become. Okay. So that's just that. So if there is no other question, honestly, it's been a wonderful time. I'm very passionate about knowledge. I'm very passionate about transferring this knowledge to people. And I'm also very passionate about teaching and mentoring. Okay. So if you have any question, you have somebody to talk to. I'll be right here to listen to you. All right. Thank you, everyone. I believe everyone have my number and one we got across to me. So we'll be able to talk more. Okay. Thank you so very much. Have a great week or weekend ahead of you.